All right, so there is usually just two reasons why we hate doing group work, whether it's being a part of a collaborative group or if you're a teacher, it's leading group work. And those two things are hogs and logs. The logs are the people in groups who do nothing. They just kind of ride on everybody else's coattail. They're static. They're like logs that just lay there while everyone else does the work. Or in every group, there might be a hog. The hog is the one who hogs all of the work. They insist on doing everything and they don't really let anybody else contribute. They just kind of bogart all of the work, making it miserable for anybody else that wants to contribute. There's the hogs and then there's the logs. And if you've ever been in any type of group project, you've probably seen a hog or log. You might have been a hog or a log before. Or if you're a teacher, you know that this is like the bane of your existence when trying to do collaborative work in your classroom. You know, how many times have you gotten that phone call from parents that are saying, my baby did all the work and yet they're getting the same grade as everybody else? And you're thinking to yourself, oh, did they tell you they did all the work? Actually, they were just a log in the project and somebody else did all the work, right? Like group work is difficult. It's challenging dealing with the kids who are lazy or feel disempowered or disenfranchised or whatever it is. They're logs in the groups. Or you've got the hogs that take over and do everything. Now, to me, this is a systemic issue in schools because school is so competitive. It's so individually minded. It's all about student success, individual student success, and it puts all these pressures on. There's some students who can't handle that pressure. They can't handle the idea of having to relinquish to control to other students and letting them have a say on whatever outcome the project might be. And so they do what instinctively you want to do. They hog the work. They take over. They insist on doing all of it. Or the other side, you've got the logs who feel like, you know what, this group work usually isn't purposeful. There's usually not a good reason for it. And so why would I put effort into something that doesn't matter? Why would I put any extra effort in something that doesn't have the same weight as this individual work that I'm doing? So often when we do group work, it's usually something frivolous that comes at the end of the actual learning. It's not in the meat of it. It's not like the main course of the meal. It comes afterwards. It's the dessert. And a lot of kids pick up on that and therefore they don't put in any effort. And it drives us teachers crazy. It drives us as collaborators ourselves. You know, one time I was on this English team and we had this initiative that we were going to have every student in the school have at least 10 minutes a day of free, sustained silent reading. They could read whatever they want. And as teachers, we would just go around and confer with them and help them understand what they're reading or just listen to it. But it was just free reading, supposed to be loved by everyone. And we were so excited about it. We had PD about it. We all got our own classroom libraries. It was going to be this big, beautiful thing. And yet there was one person on our English team who did none of this. You know, just continued to teach the same old books that had been in his closet forever, didn't use any of the classroom library, wasn't conferring with students, was kind of stuck in the past while all of us were trying this new thing, trying to move forward. And it drove us all nuts. It drove us crazy because we were all working hard on this new thing. We were collaborating, and yet this one person wasn't doing anything. And it was driving us crazy, and we would talk about it when he wasn't around. And then when we did have staff meetings to update on how we were all doing, he would just sit there on Facebook and not really collaborate and do this work. And truthfully, this program kind of failed. You know, because even though we were all doing it, there were still 120 students in the school who were not getting to do the same sustained silent reading, and therefore the program kind of crumbled in the end. And what I've realized since is that we weren't collaborating either. Because the truth is, do you think anybody talked to this teacher? Do you think anybody voiced their opinion about his effort being put forth in the group? Do you think anybody checked in with him and saw if there was a reason that he wasn't really participating? Maybe there were hogs in the group who were taking over everything and he felt voiceless. Maybe there were hogs in the group who were taking over things and he felt voiceless. Whatever it was, maybe he was just being lazy and didn't feel like trying something new. Whatever it was, nobody talked to him. Nobody confronted him on it. Nobody collaborated in that way. And therefore, the rest of the project, the thing that we all committed to, suffered. You know, good collaboration calls out the hogs, calls out the logs, and there's ways of doing it. There's productive ways to approach this conflict. There's productive ways of having collaboration in school. But the truth is, we don't put a lot of emphasis on this, do we? I mean, kids are still sitting in rows, not everywhere, but in a lot of places in the education system. It's still sit in rows, get this information. You personally succeed. You personally move forward. You personally move on to the next level. And very little of it is about the collective. It's very little of it is about everybody working towards a common goal. And that's why so many people are unable to collaborate in our society today. I mean, go look it up. The number one thing that employers want in their incoming employees is the ability to work in a team structure. It's the ability to collaborate. Couldn't we all agree that we need more people who know how to collaborate? Do you think our politics would thrive more? Do you think it would be better if the people in Washington knew how to collaborate, if they knew how to reach compromise, if they knew how to have healthy conflict instead of the bickering mess that we get all the time? We need more people who can collaborate. Wouldn't you say that our society in general would benefit if this mandatory system of education, this system that all 327 million of us Americans have to go through, and worldwide, wouldn't you say that we would all do better if this system taught us how to work together, taught us how not to be logs, but to contribute and put forth the skills that we have, the knowledge that we have, give it to our group? Wouldn't it be better if we knew how to delegate so people weren't hogs and they knew how to share and expend their resources in a healthy way? Wouldn't it be better if we knew how to collaborate? I think we all know that the answer is yes to that. How do we do it though? Because the truth is, collaboration's hard. Collaboration is difficult work. It's not easy. It's not easy holding those logs accountable. It's not easy alleviating the stresses and fear that a hog might have and helping them trust their group mates. None of that is easy, and it's certainly not easy to teach it, and to be in a classroom and lead this kind of work. So while it's not easy, it is necessary. We do have to do it. So I think the first step, and I think there's a lot of things we could do to get better at collaboration in the classroom. Heck, there might even be a book out about it in a couple months. But I think the first thing that we need to do is recognize the difficulties of it. Recognize that collaboration is not simple. However, it is a skill. Collaboration is a skill. And like every other skill, it can be improved. It can grow. I like to think of collaboration as a muscle. And the more we work out this muscle, the stronger it will get. So instead of shying away of giving our students collaborative work, instead of saying, you know what, this is too difficult. I can't stand the hogs. I can't stand the logs. Instead of doing that, I think we have to push forward and use tools, processes, and protocols to do it effectively. But I do think we have to push forward and keep doing collaborative work and find ways to make it meaningful for students, give them language to hold each other accountable, model it ourselves, be healthy collaborators in our own work, and we got to keep doing it because our society needs people who can collaborate. And I don't think it's an impossible goal. Even if it is a hard to achieve one, I think that we can turn our hogs and logs into frogs. I'm not sure what a frog is. Maybe it's like jumping from lily pad to... I don't know. You tell me what a frog is, but it rhymes. So how do we turn our hogs and logs into frogs and have healthy collaboration in the classroom? So for real, comment what a frog is, but also think of ways that you can teach your students how to collaborate.